So far, we've seen how JavaScript, what we can do in JavaScript, we can pop up a message, we can access an element by ID, we can then, once we've found that element, access the area between its tags, the inner HTML, the actual content between the tags. Yeah, there's a lot we can do. Now we're going to do something a little more complex, which is the last JavaScript example here in the slideshow. Oops, I've just made myself go here. Where we're going to write a change image function that actually changes on click. So we're going to toggle an image on and off. There's a lot here. There's var, there's if. Yeah. Let's get started, and I'll explain as we go along. So I'm going to add an image tag. Assets, images, we'll start with the off image. All equals light bulb. Photo. I'm just going to check it to see what it looks like in the browser. Okay. The size is fine with me, so that's okay. And now I'm going to decide what's going to happen when I click this image. And I'm going to do it, I'm going to wrap it up in a function so that I can put it up here in the head. Function, change light. This name is not important, just pick something that makes sense to you. The curly brackets, like CSS, start the body of the function. Just like in CSS, they start the body of the rule. This is where everything happens inside the curly brackets here. So I'm going to say, first I need access to the image, and if I can get it by ID, like I did up here, then I need to put an ID on it down here. Image ID equals bulb. Okay, so now I can say document.element by ID. Oops. Bulb. Blub. Okay. I need to figure out its, I can't use inner HTML because image is an empty tag, but I do need to get to its src attribute. So I am going to just use a .src, and now I'm thinking, what do I want to do with this? Well, let me start by making sure I can actually access its src by alerting it, just for a little test. Okay, now remember, the thing about functions is that they don't run until you call them later. So this is change light. I'm going to copy this because I'm going to just test this to see if it will actually happen if I click the image. So onClick equals change light with parentheses, save, and let's just check to make sure that all is well. Refresh. Yes, and look. So this is interesting because it's telling me the whole path to my file is what's actually the src of that img tag. So it's not just this piece, which is the piece that I have in the source here. Interesting. Okay, so but good, because I can see that I've gotten to my image tag and it understands what the source is. Now I'm going to wrap this up in a test to say, instead of alerting, let me test this to see if it's the off or the on image. Well, actually, no, before I do crazy things with if, let me just change it to the other one. So here's my original, get element by ID, access the src. Just like above, I'm going to use equals sign to change its value. Equals, and then I'm going to put in the other one. Okay, so if I click, this should change it to the on image. Save and refresh. Click. Yes, beautiful. You can see the change happened in here. And if I refresh to get back to the original state, you'll see a little highlight happen here as the change occurs. Ooh, this is the wonders of the Chrome Inspector. Shows you that some little JavaScript-y thing happened just now. But if I click it again, nothing happens because it's already on. So switching it from on to on doesn't look like anything. Therefore, I want to put in some sort of a toggle, like if it's on, set it to off. If it's off, set it to on. And this I am going to use an if for. So I might say if document.element by ID bulb.source. I don't want to try to write out the whole file path, and that won't work anyway depending on my computer. So I just want to say, let me match it and see if I can find a match in there. let's say if it matches bulb off. So if I can find the string bulb off in there, then let me then make the change in here. There's my original SRC. Now I'm just rebuilding what I had before inside my if statement. So now this will only happen if it matched off. My other case is if it's on, I want it to turn off. And in JavaScript, my either or decision is an if followed by an else. This is cool, right? This if else functionality is something we really don't have in CSS. There's no way to make a decision and to do one thing or the other in CSS, but programming languages, and JavaScript is a programming language, have this functionality. So it's really, it's a very exciting time when you graduate to a programming language like JavaScript and add that to your toolbox. So this is all going to happen if I want to turn it on. Let me add the piece of code that will go to turn it off. So now I have an either or case. Either this thing matched the bulb off, in which case I'll turn it on, otherwise I'll turn it off. Save and refresh. Well, there it's getting to my if statement, and here it's getting to my else statement. So this is fun. Now, the slide has one other difference, and that is sometimes this gets a little unwieldy, like having to keep writing this over and over again. Just like you like to make your CSS as compact and readable as possible, I'm going to make one small change that's available to me in JavaScript to say, let me create a thing called a variable that just holds these words for the moment, so I don't have to keep typing them over and over. Var bulb image equals, and then from now on, every time I see this thing, I can just refer to it as bulb image. So I'm just going to call it bulb image here. I'm going to call it bulb image here. And I'm going to call it bulb image here. Nicer, easier to read, and then if I want to do something, if I want to make any changes, I only have to change one thing right here, and all of these other things change magically. I'm going to save and refresh just to make sure I haven't screwed anything up by accident. Make sure it still works. Nope, I have obviously changed something by accident. This is why I test these things. So bulb image, document, Gellum ID bulb.source. Inevitably, this is going to be some kind of, there's no JavaScript errors, so I haven't really done anything that bad. Let's alert it. Oh, I think I know what it is. Yeah, okay. More things that I don't want to talk about today. Then I'll go back to the slide and make sure this is the one I'm talking about. I think I need to have a handle on the actual image. I can't just use the SRC like that. Yep. Okay. Making sure that your slide says the right thing. Yes, right. Okay. So my original idea was good. I just went a little too far with my replacement. So I'm holding on, this whole line is holding on to the actual image, and then I'm accessing its source attribute each time as I need to. So this gets you to the point where you can see the following things. Number one, we can see that we can use onClick. Later on in your glorious future as a JavaScript programmer, you'll use this less often because we'll do more of it in JavaScript. You can see that we can put the script tag. You've seen it, that you can put the script tag in the body. Now we're using the script tag in the head. And then if we're using the script tag in the head, then we often will package up our code into functions like this. In the glorious future, we will get rid of this script tag in the head and replace it with a script tag that just links to an external script file, much like we've been doing in CSS. Once inside the function, we've discovered how we can access things by ID. If it's a non-empty tag, then we can access the content between its tags using the inner HTML property, and you can make changes using the equal sign. Equal sign will change the thing on the left. So once we get even more advanced than that, then we can start making decisions with if and else, and we can start cleaning up our code a bit by using var to hold an object for later so that we can use it over and over without having to write the whole big string of text each time. So this just gets very, very brief overview of JavaScript. If you like it, which I hope you do, then you should take the JavaScript class. This will expand your capabilities as a web developer exponentially. So highly recommended.